Thank you very much, Count Corley, and thank you indeed for allowing me the time to bring this matter to the Dáil and to the attention of the Government. Wilker Auto Conversions, based in Clara, County Offaly, last night informed its workforce, 80 of them of a workforce of 100 or so, their intention to temporarily close their facility owing to issues surrounding delays at customs and at ports in their efforts to bring components from the UK that are necessary to complete the work on their line in relation to the manner in which they produce excellent product, which is primarily in the ambulance sector, servicing the HSC, amongst other public service authorities in the UK and Ireland. They are indeed the largest of their type in auto conversions in Ireland and the UK. This decision was obviously a shocking one for the staff and their families and their communities, and immediately one's concern is for them, and immediately one would seek assurance, which was forthcoming from management, to meet with unions and assure the workforce via the unions their commitment to their workforce's welfare, to their rights and to options that may pertain to their income over the intervening period. However, the issue at hand is one which is of great concern. The issue at hand is one which is one of the first that signifies the immediate temporary loss and potential further loss of jobs as a result of the implications of Brexit. And it's not as if this company was ill-prepared. It had employed outside expertise to help and assist and ensure that it was in a position to meet the demands which placed upon it as a result of Brexit. But it would appear that that is not necessarily the same for UK companies whom trade with Irish ones. And it is one which is a very worrying trend that needs to be addressed. And my first call is on, and I welcome Minister Troy to the House and acknowledge the absence of the Minister for Finance, who could not be here today. But there are obligations on government, there are obligations on cross-departmental work in this area, whether it be in relation to revenue and customs, the Department of Trade, the Department of Transport or Foreign Affairs. And notwithstanding the issues and the difficulties that have arisen because of the failure and the unfortunate error on the part of the EU last weekend, when it sought to invoke Article 16 of the Northern Ireland Protocol, it opened the door for many others north of the border to raise issues in relation to the east-west trade between the UK and Northern Ireland. But that has led to conciliation and talks in an effort to resolve those issues involving officials from our own country and relevant departments, of the EU and the UK. And I would hope and expect that Minister Troy can bring to bear on those who are representing this country in those talks and those negotiations to also investigate the issues that have arisen as a result of the likes of this case and many other similar ones that are brewing, if not having brewed already. So my immediate ask is that the relevant departments converse with this company, identify the issues at hand and work with other departments to ensure that an effort is made to smooth the pathway to resolve these issues, because we all feared the implications of a Brexit. It was never going to be easy, and the ramifications were always going to be there. But this now is one such ramification of grave concern to me and my constituents, and I want to assure them that every effort is being made by our officials to ensure that that process is eased.
Minister Troy, please.
Thank you, Ken Corley, and thank Deputy Cowen for raising this important matter. And obviously, like him, our thoughts are with the families in his constituency who are facing an uncertain time at the moment. The Deputy will be aware that the tax and customs affairs of any business are confidential, and there is a duty of confidentiality imposed on revenue by virtue to Section 851A of the Taxes Consolidation Act. Accordingly, revenue cannot comment on and cannot provide me with details in relation to the particular case that is the subject of Deputy Cowen's concern. However, revenue have provided some general information that I think will be helpful to understanding the general situation as regards customs formalities and how they may apply here. Normally, import duties covering customs duties and VAT is payable at the point of entry of goods into the EU from a third country. So in such and a situation of a direct import into Ireland from a non-EU country, the import duties would be payable at the point of importation, unless alternative procedures have been put in place as agreed by Revenue. As regards alternative procedures, and as a way of supporting and encouraging trade and business, there are a number of customs procedures and authorisations which can be availed of, whereby the payment of import duties can be suspended. An example would be where goods are imported and subject to certain modifications or alterations before they are either re-exported from the EU or released into free circulation on the European market. The suspension of the requirement to pay import duties is an important support for business, especially in the type of scenario I outlined, where there is a time lag between import of the goods and their eventual circulation on the market after alteration or modification. To avail of any customs simplification process and to be able to defer the payment of duties, a business must apply to and be approved by Revenue for such a simplification. I am advised by Revenue that engagement with businesses on such a basis is a regular part of their engagement with trade and business. I am also aware that Revenue would have encouraged businesses to consider the relevance of such simplification to their business in the lead-up to the 1st of January 2021 as part of an approach to mitigate the impacts of the UK leaving the EU. To avail of the type of simplified procedure I have outlined, a business must have the appropriate authorisation from Revenue. Such an application is made electronically, and Revenue review the material supplied by the business to ensure that it meets the EU requirements and qualifies for the procedure. Depending on the level of complexity of processing in Ireland, this can take some time and may require additional information from the business, and there can be ongoing engagement between Revenue and the business before the authorisation is awarded. In order to secure the authorisation, a financial security in the form of a comprehensive agreement is also required. I am also advised by Revenue that a retrospective authorisation may be issued in exceptional circumstances. Details of these circumstances should be submitted by the trader to Revenue, who will examine and make a decision on whether they meet the EU criteria for granting retrospectivisation can be considered. The benefit of retrospection is that any customs duty or import VAT paid by the trader on goods imported under the IP authorisation may be refunded. In summary, authorisation for simplified custom procedures is very much a support and help to business, but the facility to suspend the payment on import duties is a significant one, and one where Revenue must ensure that the authorisation is appropriate and, once approved, covered by an appropriate level of financial guarantee. I am assured by Revenue that it actively engages with all applicants and is conscious of the importance of bringing such matters to finality as quickly as possible. Revenue has confirmed to me that it is actively engaged with the business identified by Deputy Cowen and its advisers on the current matter.
Thank you very much. Deputy Cowen.
Thank you, Count Corley, and I particularly welcome the final sentence as relayed by the Minister, to say that the Revenue or the Department is in direct contact because I was drawn to communication I had from the Taoiseach, having raised issues around this matter earlier in January, when other companies highlighted to me the difficulties they had with the new regime, notwithstanding the efforts and the commitment that they made on foot of government advices in advance of Brexit. And the Taoiseach commented that his office was engaging extensively with stakeholders and businesses across all departments and agencies to support businesses to continue to trade and to resolve any issues that arise as quickly as possible, and that our feedback in this area is particularly helpful in such a regard. So I acknowledge the commitment made by the Minister. I expect it will be the response and the engagement will be to the trust that was contained in this correspondence that was given to me earlier, which acknowledged the impact of the new regime, which acknowledged the way in which different departments can come together to help and assist those companies overcome those difficulties. It was also stated in that correspondence, and I might add, that the Government obviously very much welcomed the conclusion of the then EU-UK Trade and Cooperation Agreement, ensuring quota-free and tariff-free trade between the EU and the UK, and which mitigates the additional impact of a no-deal Brexit would have brought. The agreement, together with the withdrawal agreement and the Protocol of Ireland and Northern Ireland, means that Ireland's key Brexit objectives have now been agreed. In a few short weeks, unfortunately, that has been brought to question by the error, we're told, made by the Commission in relation to its communication last week, where it inadvertently sought to invoke the Article 16 of the Protocol.
Thank you, Deputy.
And that in itself has caused difficulties. But I would ask and convey again my wish that in the context of those discussions that are taking place around the whole area of trade between our two countries vis-à-vis the agreement that has been reached, that every effort be made to accommodate the difficulties that have arisen, and I welcome the commitment that has been given.
Deputy Minister Troy, sorry, do you wish to conclude?
Thank you, Ken Corley. Well, I just want to acknowledge Deputy Cowen is right. There has been challenges since the 1st of January. There always was going to be challenges. We're moving to a new trading arrangement, new requirements that many businesses haven't had to deal with in generations, and challenges were going to arise. In that context, there has been in interdepartmental meetings on a daily basis from the beginning of January. That has gone down to every 2 or 3 days now, as some of the challenges have been addressed. The Irish road hauliers raised issues in terms of the challenges they faced getting product from the UK to Ireland. I understand they had a very productive meeting with senior officials in Revenue last week, and they have given an undertaking to explore what further flexibilities can be enabled. I do know that revenue systems have gone down on a number of occasions, particularly at peak times, because there has been so much traffic. That very much is regrettable. And I've spoken with senior revenue officials today, and they're trying to ensure that is addressed. But in an acknowledgement of that yesterday, they announced a further administrative easements to help and assist businesses who are challenged by this issue. And getting back to the company in question that Deputy Cowen has highlighted today, just to reiterate that Enterprise Ireland, in terms of the supports that are available there to help businesses get Brexit ready, those supports are there and available to this company. Enterprise Ireland is in engagement with this company, and Revenue is also engagement with this company. And not only this company, I just want to put it on the record of the House today that any business that is trading with the UK, if they are experiencing difficulty, Revenue has a 24/7 helpline in operation. They have people at both Dublin Port and Rosslare Port 24/7. There's assistance from the Department of Agriculture at both ports. And Enterprise Ireland has a number of supports that are still available to ensure that businesses get every effort and support that they possibly can to overcome the challenges that has arisen out of Brexit, which wasn't our doing, but we're left to deal with.